Welcome back to the MCP cast. Of course, I am Travis MCP here with my podcast. If you were expecting something else, I don't know what to tell you. This is my podcast. Of course, I have an audio podcast and video. If you're watching here on YouTube or on Spotify, you can watch the video version. Also, if you're watching on YouTube and you get a bunch of commercials and stuff, I actually have a link below for YouTube Premium, which I've been using for years personally. And I forgot YouTube had commercials because I've been on Premium. It's probably the best money I've ever spent. If you use YouTube a lot, totally worth it. I think there might be some type of special offer or something. Anyway, links in the description. It is an affiliate link, so I get some kickback, but it doesn't cost you anything extra. So, the episode is called What Now? What Next? What's Up? I called it something like that. And I just wanted to start off by saying I'm recording this episode at 4 o'clock on Thanksgiving of 2024. I bring that up because normally I'd be eating right now or in some form of a food coma. My favorite time of year, Thanksgiving. My favorite holiday. That wasn't always the case. I think like most kids, when you're younger, Christmas was my favorite holiday. But that changed. And this is going to sound funny, but it's true. Immediately when I found out there was no Santa Claus, that took all the fun out of Christmas. And as a young kid, Christmas became less and less interesting and less important every year. But before that, it was always the most magical time of year. And again, that sounds funny to say, but it's absolutely true. Like it went from being the almighty of all year long, I can't wait for Christmas, to like, it's just another day. It's a Friday this year or whatever it is, right? So Thanksgiving became really big for me because A, the food, and B, I just like being around people during that time, especially friends and family and stuff. But as I'm saying now, it's literally the time that I'd normally be eating or with people, and I'm not. I'm here by myself. I think this might be the first ever Thanksgiving I've ever had alone, I think, because I can't think of any other ones. So that's a thing. And that kind of goes into a lot of things I want to talk about on today's episode, which is like what's going on in my life, which is just a lot of weird things. Thanksgiving used to be really important and special to me, and this year I'm doing it alone. So I would, of course, prefer to be in a different situation. And it's not like I can't call one of my good friends and try to, go over there, I guess. But this just kind of is the way that this year kind of happened. And Christmas has been like that, and even my birthday, which is the day after Christmas, has happened like that for the last multiple years, where I spent a lot of it by myself. But in previous years it made me really sad, and I'll tell you, if for a lot of the things that are going on right now, if they weren't happening right now, I'd probably be depressed right now, because again, my favorite time of year, and I'm here by myself. So one of the reasons why it's not depressing or sad, or I'm not even really overly concerned about it, is because of some of the medical stuff I'm going through, which I kind of talked about before. So I went and got my MRI. That took extra time. So I think when I recorded one of the podcasts, I was going to get the MRI the next week. Insurance called me last second and said they weren't going to cover it for some reason. They ended up covering it anyway. So a couple of weeks later, I had to reschedule it because they canceled it. A couple of weeks later, I went, got some results, and now I'm waiting to talk to a surgeon, because I guess there's surgery that might be involved here. And that's kind of worrisome, because it's not, like I said before, it's not a good type of surgery. So I'm waiting to talk to a surgeon. So I've been emailing and trying to like set up an appointment, and I haven't heard back. And I keep calling them like, what's going on? My power went out for like 4 days last week, so I couldn't follow up last week. So because I need to get this figured out. This is a big deal. Like I'm hoping that I can avoid surgery, but I need to talk to the surgeon first to know exactly what my options are. But because of that, and because of some of the things that are going on with me, chemicals and stuff in my brain, I don't see things the same way I used to. Over the last couple of years, a lot of the smaller stuff doesn't bother me at all anymore. So while I can acknowledge and recognize that I'm in a situation that might be very depressing for some people, I don't feel that way. I feel kind of anticlimactic about everything. Basically, I don't really have very many highs or lows anymore. And I actually find that freeing. It's very freeing, because when you don't sweat the small stuff, you just kind of stay in the middle. And I actually prefer to be in the middle, like not too low, not too sad, not too excited and happy, because it seems like the higher you go up in excitement and happiness, the lower you end up falling down. So I'm somewhere in the middle, and I stay in the middle for the most part. Again, this is because of some of the things that are going on with me medically. I'll be honest, the surgery has me a little concerned, though. While in general I'm not scared, it is a very scary thing, and I'm sure if I have to do the actual surgery, that I will be worried. But I think, and thank you for everyone who left messages last time talking about and sharing your stories. They were really powerful, very helpful, and I really appreciate it. I'm not asking for that this time. I'm just kind of letting you all in as what's going on. So Thanksgiving by myself, I'm going to eat. I went to the grocery store and went to the deli and had them slice some stuff off for me. So I'm just going to eat that after this. Christmas is going to be the same. No Christmas tree up, no Christmas lights, no presents, no nothing. That's been this case for maybe 7-8 years now. And yeah, it's a very anticlimactic life. I also acknowledge that I'm very blessed in some ways. Financially, for sure. Like, I'm fine, which is amazing considering like I don't upload anymore, really, hardly. And I should be doing better if I actually uploaded on this channel and did some stuff, which again, I started thinking like, well, maybe I should upload more on YouTube. Maybe that'll excite me. And I look at tech and I'm like, there's nothing in tech. There's nothing. So I'm doing the podcast for the time being because it's, somewhat enjoyable. At the very least, I get to vent. So, it's funny, over the last couple of weeks since I've been waiting to talk to the surgeon, it really feels like there's a thought of like, well, what's next? Or what is, it almost feels like a chapter being closed. And I don't mean like, it's so hard to explain this because it feels very real to me, but to explain to someone makes me feel crazy. Feels like things are coming to an end. I have nothing to kind of point to that's going to be like, oh, that's a thing. It's just like, because I remember thinking like, okay, well, if I don't have to do the surgery or something like that, then what? What's next? Like, and I don't feel like there's anything next. It feels like that this is whatever it is. This is it. Again, I have no reason necessarily to feel that way. I think I just, again, with some of the things going on with me, I just kind of feel that way. And I'm not sad about any of it. I'm just but it does feel weird. It's a little bit like, think about like if you binge watch maybe your favorite show, and then it comes to the end, and then you're like, well, now what? Like, you got to find something else. My days are very, very, I think I mentioned this before. I rarely leave the house. I watch a lot of streaming services, and that's about it. I don't really get to talk to many people. I don't really do a lot. I really don't. So a little bit of interactions I have here and there are appreciated. Certainly when I hear from folks watching the podcast, listening to podcasts, that's super appreciated. And I know I haven't uploaded in a while, but of course all this, medical stuff was in the middle of happening. So I was kind of like, let me figure this part out first and see where it puts me. But I don't know, like, it feels like, I wonder sometimes when, right before people die, like, did they know something? Did they have a feeling of something was going to happen, but then just never said anything to anyone? Because like, that's dumb. I'm like 20 or whatever the case may be. Like, did they know? Because every once in a while, you'll hear a story of someone who died and they had told their friends, like, I think I'm going to die or something. And then it happens. I'm not saying, for all those that are friends of mine in real life, don't text me about this. I'm not saying that's the way I feel, but I also don't feel like I can see a long future either. Like, I don't see that either. I just don't know what this feeling is. It's very, very unusual. Yeah. I don't know that I really wanted to share too much else. It's funny because I figure for a podcast, like, something should be longer. I always feel like a podcast should be at least an hour. But sometimes I just want to like vent and talk about things. And, the holiday seasons are very a mixed bag for me and for a lot of other people out there. First of all, I know I'm not alone, that being the only person who's alone eating Thanksgiving by themselves. I'm not the only person doing that. There's a lot of people out there like that. A lot of people in much worse situations than me. And I'm certainly not kind of comparing myself to any of those people, nor am I saying that I'm in dire straits and things are bad. It's not like that at all. Like I said, a lot of this stuff I just don't feel anymore. I just like, okay, it is what it is. I feel like over the last couple of years before this little chapter of my life, I was feeling too much. I was ingrained too much and had people making me feel certain ways that were terrible, like really, really bad for a long period of time. And I really felt burned out And those were scary times. Like I didn't want to be around anymore. But once you decide that certain people should not have access to your life anymore, once you make that decision, man, it's life changing. And then that again, timed with this medical stuff, really makes it a very interesting time in my life. And perceiving life now is way different than it was like a year or two ago. Like so much different, night and day different. So I don't know what's next. And that also includes here the YouTube channel. I'll keep doing these podcasts from time to time. I wouldn't mind getting back into YouTube, but the problem is I'm so unmotivated to do just about anything. For those of you that listened to the other podcast when I talked about being diagnosed with diabetes, since that time I've really changed the way I eat. I've lost like 13 pounds, and I figure I'm in a situation where I have figured out the type of food and stuff that I can eat that I feel happy with, and I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything. So I think the weight will continue to be lost, which is great. I'm actually excited about that. Whenever I step on a scale and it goes down, it's the only thing that's motivating me. Actually, that is the one thing that has motivated me, is losing this weight. Once my doctor's like, well, you got diabetes, but you can, reverse it if you eat right and change everything, which I've been doing. So I certainly hope that by the next time I get a test for it, it's way different. Oh, another funny thing. So when I got my MRI, I don't know if it's funny. It's funny because I drink water. I'll drink a lot of water typically, but I didn't drink a lot of water the day that I went for my MRI. And apparently they need to like put an IV in you or something. I don't think I knew that before I went there. And if you're somewhat dehydrated, it can be hard to find a spot for them to get the needle in. Well, I've never really had a problem with people finding a vein. For the most part, like every time I have to get blood work or whatever done, they find a vein pretty quickly. But I'm not a fan of needles. Bro, I didn't drink a lot of water, so I think I might have been slightly dehydrated. They stuck me, I think, 5 or 6 times trying to find a vein, including 5 times in the back of my fists, 3 on one and 2 on the other. If you've never had your hands stuck for a vein, I just assume it wouldn't be that bad. It was bad. It's a terrible place for them to try to get a vein. It hurt. I wish I had drank water that day. I'm gonna tell you, anytime I go to the hospital again where they're gonna take get a vein, I'm drinking a lot of water. I think that's part of what the problem was. It was really strange. I mean, they got to like the one nurse did it. She couldn't do it. She got another person to do it, and he at first couldn't do it. He was like, "What's going on?" And I'm like, "What does this mean?" Because I don't want to come back for this thing. Like I had to wait 3 weeks to get this stupid appointment. Why would I want to? If you guys got to get a vein, you got to get a vein. So that was unusual. But yeah, I don't know. I sometimes wonder also, like, what is the point of all of this? I in the last couple of episodes, and some of you reached out in the messaging, the comments on the YouTube video, where I was talking about that, is there a life after death and stuff? I gotta tell you, like, if there isn't, this is a big waste. As I've said before, life is kind of mid. We're in the middle of some of the most shenanigans in politic history. I am blown away by what the hell's going on in the world right now. It is absolutely trash, and it's kind of an embarrassment for our humanity. We live in embarrassing times, and I think some people don't realize it. It's very sad. So if this is it, if this is all there is to it, man, I want my money back. I want my money back, bro. I want my time back. Just put me back into the ether, because this is trash. I certainly hope there's something after this, because this is terrible. People being terrible to each other, just terrible things happening, logic going out the window. Just, I don't even know what the hell is going on anymore. So I just try to stay out of it and just try to rock in my own world and just try to be me. I really would love to get back to content creation. I wish tech was more interesting. I wish it was more compelling. I wish that something would be interesting and I could come back. I think John Prosser's doing a kick-ass job making tech interesting. He's doing some great stuff. I've been talking to him every so often, and he's doing some good shit. I love what he's doing. Make sure you check out Front Page Tech if you haven't. He is actually making tech kind of interesting again. And MKBHD is making it interesting, but not in the way he would want to. Let me tell you, that dude is trying to get canceled. First he did the app, and then he started driving through schoolyards at 90 miles an hour. I kind of wish I had done a podcast when that came out, because I would have talked about that. At least that would have been kind of aligned with tech. And if you're wondering what I'm thinking, about him. I don't have anything against MKBHD. Like I've met him once or twice, once I think, or I don't know. I've been in the same room as him, and I feel like I've met him, but I don't remember. I've heard a lot of things about him from people who've worked with him or things like that, and I think he's a robot. I don't think he's actually like a human. From what I understand, he's not very like personable through a lot of people. So for him to do something like that and it kind of get it almost lines up with what I've been told about him. Not that he's not caring. I'm sure he is, but I think sometimes people see the world in a specific way. And to, you know, in fairness to him, by the way, I mean, he's a big YouTuber, and not even forget about the YouTuber thing. Like he's done things outside of YouTube that are big. And I think you get at a certain point where it changes your reality of how you look at the world. And I don't think he meant anything by it, but I also don't think he realized it was wrong when he did it. I think he had to be called out on it. So, you know, it is what it is. He's a young guy. He'll figure it out. He seems like he's a pretty well together put dude, but he learned a lesson. You're going to learn today. I'm just staying at home, so I ain't doing none of that mess. Anyway, this might just be a short one, but I appreciate you listening. Again, if you watch a lot of YouTube, there's a link in the description for YouTube Premium. It's worth it. Trust me, as someone who's had it for years. Again, I forgot that YouTube had commercials because I've had it for so long. It's worth it. Give it a shot. And I hope to see y'all around. Peace and love. And make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already. And if you're listening to audio podcasts, thank you. Leave me a comment and go to the... I don't even... Can you leave comments on audio podcast? Well, listen. On the Apple podcast, leave me 5 stars because that does actually help. And I'll see you guys and gals in the next one. Peace.